On tonight's CTV News, the future of the Waimakariri Red Zone is up for discussion, the convention centre is one step closer, and a new People's Parliament had their first sitting today. This is CTV News, I'm Grant Mangan. Almost 4 years on from the September earthquake, the Waimakariri district is thinking about its future and what will become of Kaiapoi's Red Zone.
The future of Kaiapoi Red Zones is in the hands of the public. This visionarium allows people from the community to share their ideas for its future. The interactive displays give the public a chance to learn about what's happening in their backyard, by overseeing a satellite view of the area, to this interactive display and even photo and video booth.
I think it's marvellous. I've never seen it from the air before. It's lovely, you know, so you can't tell what it's like walking around, but when you see it like this, it's really good.
It's part of the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority's Canvas campaign, developed to hear the public's view on what should become of Kaiapoi's red zones. There's no age limit here.
A forest themed go-kart track. No.
These students from Kaiapoi North School weighing in on its future.
And what do you guys want to see in the red zone?
I would like to see like a track for bikers or like an adventure playground where you can just go and do stuff.
Almost 4 years since the September earthquake devastated many Kaiapoi properties. David Ayres, the Waimakariri District Mayor, is pleased to see progress.
What has been a long time coming, it hasn't removed our impatience, I guess, but it's great to have it underway now.
The Waimakariri District has five separate red zones in the area.
The biggest area is this northeast Kaiapoi area, and some of the fringe areas have suffered some flooding partly because they've dropped as a result of the earthquake.
Which means the plans for what will happen in each red zone will differ from one another.
You know, Kairaki and Pines Beach are two sort of beachfront rural communities, and you know they have different characteristics to Kaiapoi and different characteristics to Christchurch.
Of the 1,048 red zone homes, 36 decided against accepting the Crown's offer, over half of those still living within the Kairaki red zone.
It presents different issues for different parts of our area, and we'll certainly work with those people as neighbours.
The visionarium will be in Kaiapoi for the next few weeks, with the Canvas campaign ending in mid-September. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
The government is cracking down on benefit fraud, which has seen hundreds of beneficiaries cut off in Canterbury.
The government is cracking down on welfare fraud nationwide, cancelling more than 368 benefits in Canterbury, and $3.6 million of overpayments were established. A local woman was jailed for 3 years on benefit fraud charges involving $270,000 after conning ACC into providing simultaneous support, including payments for fictitious careers. A Balclutha couple admitted defrauding the government of more than $175,000 during 24 years by lying about their relationship, receiving 12 months home detention and 400 hours community work. The crackdown follows the government's introduction of new measures to get smarter about dealing with welfare fraud. Other measures include stricter monitoring of nearly 2,000 beneficiaries previously found to have been fraudulent or dishonest. A spokesperson for Labour Social Development believes welfare fraud is an important issue, but corporate tax evasion was a bigger concern for New Zealand taxpayers, costing them $1 billion in 2011 alone.
He was supposed to appear in court today, but the alleged Thai container Vandal went missing before his case was heard. Marcus Gibbs reports.
After being named and shamed on Facebook for vandalising a takeaway joint, the man seen here breaking off a camera at Thai Container failed to turn up to court today. After causing $2,000 of damage to Thai Container, a social media hunt identified the alleged vandal earlier this week, and he was charged with burglary. The 20-year-old man was then released on bail. Today he was supposed to appear in court, but after talking to a duty lawyer, he disappeared before his case was called in front of a judge. The court registrar has since issued an arrest warrant. The acting detective senior sergeant leading the case is disappointed the man did not see his day in court.
It merely aggravates his situation. There's a warrant for his arrest, and the sooner he fronts up and makes himself accountable, the sooner the better for him. The police will actively seek him and bring him back before the courts.
The case has turned out to be one of the more interesting ones police have recently worked on.
Well, just the phenomenon of the Facebook angle and the public interest arousal, and how they've rallied around. So it certainly is interesting, and it's a good trend that the community are helping out like this.
Because the restaurant owner posted footage online naming the alleged vandal in the process, as well as publishing his address, occupation and a link to his Facebook, police say in an ironic twist, the accused could potentially take the owner to court.
So the accused may wish to seek those avenues through a civil court, and that's something he'll need to discuss with a lawyer and do it that way.
The owner of Thai Container has told CTV News he'd like to see the accused have his day in court. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
The government has announced who the developers of the convention centre will be. Emma Cropper has the story.
Who will design and build the $284 million convention centre has been revealed. Prime Minister John Key has announced Plenary Conventions, Ngāi Tahu Property and Carter Group as the preferred developers, with Accor as the preferred operator.
This is a big vote of confidence in the future of Christchurch by some major domestic and international companies.
The Plenary Group are public infrastructure experts, delivering $14 billion worth of projects in Australia where they were first established.
We came together as a consortium with Carter Group and Ngāi Tahu Property to combine the very best local knowledge and experience Christchurch has to offer with our international design and delivery expertise in large infrastructure projects.
The convention centre will be built between Victoria and Cathedral Square, with construction expected to begin in 2015. The centre will include a 2,000-seat conference facility at its heart, a hotel, residential, hospitality and also retail capacity.
The Convention Centre precinct is probably the key anchor project in terms of the impact it will have on how the CBD looks and feels, not to mention the people it will bring into the city.
The Prime Minister believes convention visitors spend more than other visitors and return to holiday with their families.
Christchurch is the gateway to the South Island, and we know New Zealand has missed out on considerable convention and conference business over the years through lack of capacity.
The convention centre is expected to be opened by 2017. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
Coming up, a local business has a new lease of life since losing an important contract.
Southern Newsweek is an Otago-based news bulletin. Produced locally in Dunedin, it's your chance to catch up on everything that's happening in the community. Southern Newsweek, Saturday at 6:30 p.m. and repeated Sunday at 10 a.m. right here on CTV.
Hi, I'm Steve and welcome to Carpet Kingdom. At Carpet Kingdom we stock a massive range of carpets and we're also the largest vinyl stockist in the South Island. And not only do we have an excellent range in store, but you can purchase our stock online. We offer free measuring quotes, we have our own installation team, we ship nationwide, so come on down and see us at Carpet Kingdom. 312 Wilsons Road in Waltham, just off Brougham Street, or visit us online at carpetkingdom.co.nz.
It's Blackwell's Mazda Demolition Sale, with prices on selected demonstrators that'll blow you away. BT50 4x4 from $39,995. CX5 from $35,595, Mazda 6 LTD from $49,995, CX9 from $55,495, and Mazda 3 from $30,800. The clock's ticking. These prices could blow any second. Call Blackwell's Mazda Stockburn today.
Action Removals, offering short or long-term storage facilities, full packing services, comprehensive rates, all fully insured and with 6 vehicle sizes to choose from. Earthquake repairs? Action Removals pack, move, store and return your valuable possessions stress-free. Action Removals, a family business that has been operating in Christchurch for over 10 years. Action Removals, your one-stop removal service on time, every time. 0800 222 526.
Be immersed in the unique cultural highlights Germany has to offer every Tuesday night with Discover Germany. Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here on CTV.
New Brighton residents are so fed up with a lack of investment from local and central government that they've started their own republic. Today, the Independent People's Republic of New Brighton held their first sitting of their new parliament. Marcus Gibbs went along to hear their ideas.
It's a bold plan to transform New Brighton. A small group of passionate locals have formed the People's Independent Republic of New Brighton, and they're hoping their vision will catch on.
We've got 16,500 residents in New Brighton. If every single one of them made one little incremental change, you change the world.
Today, the group met at the New Brighton Pier and made history as the People's Parliament sat for the first time.
Well, you've got to start somewhere, and there's been this groundswell in New Brighton of locals really wanting to make things happen.
The Republic of New Brighton was never intended to become a revolution, but that's what's starting to happen here.
It was intended as a joke, you know, it's something where it was intended to have that satire base to it. The frustration's just overboiled at the moment, so to give people somewhere to vent, but in a positive manner, was what the intention was for it. I didn't quite realise it was going to go to this extent.
National and local media have caught on to the idea, and what started as a joke has become something much more serious.
But it's really turned people's heads around, you know, and it's gotten a different way of thinking in place. What solutions can a local community provide for an area that it feels so passionate about? Instead of waiting for other people to come and sort our issues out for us, it's taking that and leading the charge ourselves.
It's about finding a way that locals can get involved and participate and feel like they can make a difference in their own community.
The Facebook page only has around 640 members, but the Republic is planning to grow. If it does, the results could prove exciting and powerful. The group has several projects in mind, like wind turbines, to harness the suburb's famous wind power. But it can't do anything without some form of capital. Introducing the voluntary Republic of New Brighton tax. With 16,500 residents, this could be the way to raise the funds to build new projects.
There are 1,500 of them, just 1,500. 1,500 people put in $5 a week each. That's $7,500 every single week to be spent locally. There's your security issues, your maintenance issues, your toilet upgrades. These can be addressed locally.
It could be how this neglected suburb gets the fresh lick of paint it so desperately needs.
We can't keep going back and asking and begging for more, not when we've got the ability to change it ourselves as well.
The pier itself is a great example of what the people living in the suburb can do. In 1964, the original pier was demolished and fundraising started to build another. The community raised $2 million and the City Council matched it. The result is this 300-metre-long pier that's become a tourist attraction and the site for the People's Parliament to meet today. The People's Parliament is a citizens' forum, open to anyone. It will meet for its second time next month. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Labor is calling for an investigation into a $60,000 government report that was never written.
It all began with Minister Jerry Brownlee. In May, the Earthquake Recovery Minister publicly said the Crown hired consultants to review a City Council financial report. The Australian firm brought in, Morrison Lowe, was expected to write up a report in 14 days. More than 8 weeks on, a minister's spokesperson told the Christchurch Star there is still no report. The costs of Morrison Lowe's services over a 4-week period, including travel costs, showed the price tag was over $60,000. The minister's spokesperson says there is still no report and the work done was collaborative. The spokesperson confirmed the consultants completed work for the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority, which was instructive for both the Crown and the Christchurch City Council. Labor earthquake spokesman Clayton Cosgrove is calling for an investigation into the money being spent. This unknown spend comes off the back of the City Council's Cameron report, revealing the Christchurch City Council has a funding black hole of up to $90 million.
The Insurance Council of New Zealand is defending the time insurance companies are taking to rebuild earthquake-damaged homes.
New figures released yesterday by the Insurance Council of New Zealand show insurance payouts for Canterbury earthquake claims have topped $12 billion. However, the figures also highlight that some of the rebuilds may not be finished until 2017. Until now, there was hope that every home repair and rebuild would be completed before the end of 2016. However, the Insurance Council of New Zealand is pleased with the progress that has been made. So far, 80% of commercial claims and 66% of all residential claims over cap and out of scope have now been fully settled. That's more than 11,000 over cap dwelling claims that have been settled, including 2,200 rebuilds and major repairs.
What we're most excited about is the latest figures that we've had for the last quarter that shows a big upsurge in the repairs, rebuilds and settlements in Canterbury. So we've almost doubled the previous quarter in terms of settlements in the last quarter and almost tripled the insurer-managed repairs and rebuilds as well.
To put it into perspective, insurers are paying $11 million a day to get Cantabrians back into their homes. However, Labour's EQC and Commerce spokesman Clayton Cosgrove says the Insurance Council is trumpeting success, despite having more than 8,000 claims still to settle.
Well, it's true that we are trumpeting success because things are evidently ramping up, and that's indisputable by the figures that have just come through and been announced today. In terms of that 8,000, what I've said before is these are people who have already got their properties either in a design phase or pricing phase, and they're getting their progress moving through. There's nothing that comes out today that contradicts what we've said a year ago or 2 years ago, that we will be at the end of this process, or virtually at the end of it, by the end of 2016.
A recent Official Information Act request from Mr Cosgrove shows there are still more than 29,000 EQC claims yet to be resolved, half of which are cash settlements. Mr Grafton says the insurance companies have been working as hard as possible to settle claims.
There's always things that could have been done better, but if I look back and say, well, how much further could we have been with the benefit of hindsight, I suspect that the answer to that might be a few months, certainly not years.
Labor says their proposal for a special earthquake court would cut through the huge backlog of insurance cases. However, the Insurance Council has slammed that proposal.
We've been publicly critical of the earthquake court because what it means is that it asks insurers to pay people to sue them, which just seems to be a perverse thing in any justice system anywhere in the world. In terms of an earthquake court, our concern would be that that would block the courts up with people who now have a free legal service paid for by an insurer.
Tim Grafton says many issues can be solved without having to start a costly court process. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Still to come, the business and weather updates.
Take a multi-dimensional look at the unique facets of European culture, fashion, film, music, art and everything in between. Euromax, every weekday at 8 a.m, right here on CTV.
Introducing My Freeview.
This fella doesn't just preserve your right to watch free digital TV. It fits your viewing around your life. Too busy putting out fires? Record at the touch of a button. Want to watch one channel and record another? You can. And if you need to nip away,
hit pause, even a live show.
For a one-off payment, you can enjoy Freeview when it suits you, not someone else.
It's like having your own TV station at home without monthly fees or contracts. My Freeview. It's Kiwi for TV.
Looking for that perfect gift for a loved one? Wanting to add some vibrance to your home, or just looking to brighten up your workplace? No matter the occasion, the Hitching Post has something for everyone. Lose yourself in their extensive range of homeware, art, glass and plasma cut metalwork. The Hitching Post is your one-stop shop for great style and quality. So come on down to the Hitching Post, 722 Marshland Road.
Come on down to Ferrymead Golf. Care for a game of paintball? How about some swings on the old driving range? Or on our par 3 9-hole golf course? Test your skills on the mini golf course or have a go at the airgun shooting range. Then relax at the Wow Cafe with one of our super succulent Wow Burgers. Whether you want to perfect your swing or are looking for a fun family day out, come down to Ferrymead Golf, 50 Ferrymead Park Drive, right next to the Ferrymead Heritage Park.
Europe Europe in concert. A new, fantastic international artist performing every week. Saturday evening at 7 p.m, right here on CTV.
Well, it's Thursday, and that means it's time for Warren Head to join us now with his business news update.
I'm Warren Head from headliner.co.nz. To start off with the positives, this week we've seen unemployment on a national level come down under the 6% to 5.6%. In Christchurch, the unemployment rate is running at 2.8%. Now you can compare that with a year ago when it was 4.3%, so a very significant drop, caused, of course, by the influx of new workers and jobs. And where are these jobs being found? Well, construction, of course, 10,300 new jobs created there in the June year. In the retail sector and accommodation and food, 12,400 people have been employed there in the past June year. And the thing that I was really curious about, public administration and safety, 6,100 jobs. I guess they're the people wearing all the vests around town, checking up on the rest of us. On the local front, talk that the Forsyth Bar building will become a hotel. We look forward to that. The convention centre announcement today, elsewhere in the news. And on the national front, of course, the negative is milk prices. The absence of Chinese demand is the problem here. The Chinese have gone from the market. They took 55–60% of our milk powder exports at the peak of the dairy boom last summer. When will they come back? Nobody's sure, but in the meantime, these dairy auctions keep going down. The price keeps falling, 40%. Bit of concern out in the rural towns about how the farm spend might be affected, so we need to watch that space. On the local front, the port company announced that it is to be a full takeover bid by CCHL, the holdings company of the City Council. In total, with a dividend thrown in of 20%, the price for the shareholders, 770 of them, will be $4.15. If they accept it, they'll be waiting for a report to decide whether or not they should. What is the background to all of this? Well, of course, it's the Cameron report that came out last week, which indicated that the city has very few options in terms of what to do with the rising cost of the rebuild. Earlier, recall that Cordia Mentha, in an earlier report, found there was a $534 million potential funding shortfall, so you can't ignore that problem. Cameron Partners came up with quite a few options, and they've suggested that the city needs to raise about another $256 million of extra funding costs by 2019, or it will breach its debt covenants. We can't have that because right now we've got an A+ rating and we don't want to lose it. So the Mayor, I think, has been addressing this quite full on, and she says there are very few reasons why we cannot stand still any longer. And this comes down to the options of either putting the rates up 20% or selling down some of the city's assets. Now, this is the reason the port company has got the takeover bid. The city holding company going up to 100% clears the decks there for either, in my view, one of two options. They will start to sell off part of the airport, which could be a very popular float on the markets, or the other is they might sell part of the city holding company all along, which seems to me the best way to go, because then you just have one big giant asset with a nice balance sheet. And as long as the City Council continues to hold control in terms of the city's position, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't look at these options. I'm Warren Head for headliner.co.nz.
Well, very interesting news there about falling demand for milk powder from China, one of our biggest export markets. Does that mean the dairy boom might be over? Dairying, after all, has been a massive contributor to economic activity and growth in rural Canterbury, a big part of our economic success story locally. You may be certain that both Warren and our news team will be keeping a very close eye on that story and let you know whether, in fact, the days of dairying are coming to an end. Well, time to check out your regional weather.
Kia ora Canterbury, let's take a look at your region's weather. First in Timaru 13 and Temuka and Geraldine 12. Methven, Ashburton and Rakaya hit 14 today. Darfield, Leeston and Rolleston a mild 14 degrees. Looking at Lincoln and Christchurch, 14 today. Over in Akaroa, they hit one of the highs of the region on 15 degrees. Moving along to the Waimakariri district, Rangiora, Kaipoi and Amberley hit 15. In the Huranui district, Culverden, Hanmer Springs and Cheviot hit 14, and Kaikoura was just that little bit warmer on 15. But what's in store for tomorrow? In Timaru, cloudy and very cold tomorrow with icy showers all day. Expect hail and sleet and snow on the hills as well as gusty southwesterlies, hitting an overnight low of 3 degrees and a high of 5. And in Ashburton, gusty, very cold southwesterlies with snow showers mostly above 200 metres. Expect the showers to clear during the evening, hitting an overnight low of 3 and a high of 5 degrees. And in Christchurch, it's going to be bitterly cold for your Friday, with snow showers on the Port Hills and sleet everywhere else. Winds could be gale force on the Banks Peninsula as well. It'll hit 3 overnight and a high of just 6 degrees. In Kaikoura, sleety showers and snow to 300 metres on the hills tomorrow with a wickedly cold southwesterly wind and gale force at times, hitting an overnight low of 3 and a high of just 6 degrees. And in other areas around the region, Temuka and Geraldine expect showers with a high of 5. Methven and Rakaia, a high of 5 degrees and a low of 4. Darfield and Leeston, snow is in store with a high of 5. Rolleston and Lincoln has a high of 6 and a low of 4. Over in Akaroa, expect showers with a high of 6 degrees. Rangiora, Kaipoi and Amberley, a low of 4 and a high of 6. Culverden, Hanmer Springs and Cheviot can expect snow with a high of 3. Looking ahead for the rest of Canterbury, any early cloud clearing and weather becoming mostly fine and sunny on Saturday with moderate westerly winds and cold temperatures. It'll be frosty on Saturday night also. Fine and sunny on Sunday with cold northeasterly winds. Expect frosty Sunday night as well. Fresh gusty northwesterly winds decreasing on Monday with high cloud thickening during the day and some rain developing at night. Wintry showers on Tuesday. They may bring hail or sleet and snow flurries above 300 metres. It'll be very cold with fresh gusty southwesterlies dying out. And another period of icy showers and blustering southwesterlies on Wednesday. And that's all for your region's weather. Keep warm and enjoy the rest of your evening.
And you're certainly going to have to wrap up very warmly tomorrow. It's going to be very, very cold. Wet, and if it's not wet, it looks like it's actually going to snow. So if you've got chains or a four-wheel drive, you might want to get those out of the garage. Well, that's CTV News for Thursday. I'm Grant Mangan. Good night.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.